Hey, hey.
We're live. Hey, good morning. And you know what? I'm getting so many comments on our music. I'm getting some that are pretty, I don't know. I keep on saying, guys, it's grown folk music. And they're like, no, it sounds like those, those movies. And I'm like, what?
Which movies? The PG-13 movies or the Triple X movies?
No, the X-rated movies.
Come on, guys, get your head out of the
gutter. I know. It's
X-rated.
Like, anyway, welcome to Real Estate Unwrapped. Let me just put my glasses. Guys, did you see those bags on my eyes? Oh man.
Yo, I'm starting to get these wrinkles. I'm starting
to
get these wrinkles right here, yo. Wrinkles that are starting to form.
Oh, don't even think about the who cares about wrinkles. You know what? Embrace your wrinkles because those are the reminders of the good experiences in life you had. And the fact that you have the wrinkles are a blessing because you made it. Come on.
They're like this. What kind of blessings you got if you're walking around like this? Come on, man. You mad.
It doesn't matter, man.
I'm over here looking all mad. I gotta be like this now.
All right, so today, guys, good morning. You know what? Israel is not around. Yes, Israel is having this super, super great buyer he's working with. Good for him. This is great. You know, like sometimes you gotta be with them, right? You can't, so we understand. So good luck to you. All right, so today, part 2. I don't know if you remember, guys, last week, we had our little presentation. We had a whole bunch of hacks on mindset. We thought we would go through all 15 of them. Nah, didn't happen. We got so many good ideas. We shared so many golden, what is it? Golden chicken, golden nuggets, something like that.
Chicken nuggets.
Yeah. And we went through half our material. So I guess this week we're gonna go through the other half, right? So without further,
quick little recap.
Do we want to recap?
Not recap to that extreme. Not recap to the extreme. But why don't we bring everybody back to date, right? Because we went through a few. You want to just kind of flick through the slides as we read through them?
Yeah.
Right?
If you remember, we were discussing thinking of new ways to solve old problems. Let's not go back over the whole thing. Watch the video from last week. It's on YouTube. It's pretty much all over, right?
Yes.
Know your client. Like, don't assume every single client you're gonna meet is like in those cookie cutter boxes of personalities. Get to know them, get to know what's important. And I'm gonna stress again, because in this market, there are a couple of things that are gonna put you on top. We're going back to what is more normal market, which a lot of older agents have known, like 30, 40 years ago was pretty much like that. You had to work a little bit more for your money in real estate, and we're back to that. So know your clients, know their need, know what's important to them. Just don't assume and run with what you like. Switch up a little bit. Be more service oriented. Always keep pushing forward. You fall down, just get up, dust yourself off, just keep on going, man. This is it. Actually, failure is part of success, correct? Let me see.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to look at it as a failure. I'd rather look at it as it's a learning curve, right? When you don't succeed at your first shot, it's teaching you a lesson. So don't give up. Always keep pushing forward.
Yeah, you're right. Do your homework. Yeah, especially when you're working with a listing agent, buyer agents, get to know, dig a little bit on the property. If you're a showing agent, do the previews, read the MLS listing, ask questions to the agent if you have, even before you show, inquire a little bit more. That's super important. And I always say, like, guys, be a little bit more curious, you know? Like, we're coming back from this Vegas trip, which was the 50th anniversary of the brokerage I'm with now. And I'm asking agents, like, what's your takeaway from that trip and stuff like that? Like, I'm trying to incite, you know, like, seeing, like, I want everybody to be so curious. Like, there was so many, like, good sessions, learning, inspiring. Some of them were about tech, some of them were about global networking and stuff like that, which actually they had some real good. They had some groups from Argentina, Uruguay, Dominican Republic, New Zealand, like huge groups and stuff. They were like crazy, insane people. But that was good. Like, it's curious. So you exchange idea, you know, like you exchange cards, you ask them what they're doing. Like, be more curious about your business, what you're doing. You know, so let's do that. Don't try to predict, adapt. Which brings me, Ed, I got this great quote from, I don't know if you ever heard of Terry Watson.
No,
he's a coach, a speaker.
He's a coach of what?
He's a coach and a speaker. I had seen him when I was with Exit many years ago. Hold on. He said something which was kind of cool. I just took notes. Terry Watson. If you don't evolve, you dissolve, you evolve, or you evaporate.
Ooh.
Take that in. Take this one in. All right.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And then we ended up with having a bigger vision for yourself, for your business, just like, you know, like I think we were talking about you, right? And we ended up on that. We had some of your experience, which you probably my best example of possibilities of what agents can do, you know? Like we met when you were just like brand new in the business, right?
You're giving me a big head over here, Jeej.
No, and not at all. Like, I've seen you evolve so much, man. It's like, I've seen you coming, you know, like, I remember, like, you know how you were, yeah, they're talking about the chameleon, but the chameleon sometimes have those movements where he's like, you think he's going, but he's not yet, not yet.
Testing waters. He's kind of doing one of these.
Like, you know. And then, you know, and then like, you just like, it's like I've seen my child grow up, you know, because basically, look, we're like 20 years apart, man. It's like, that's what it is, right?
I'm young enough or old enough to be Kika's older brother.
Pretty much. But, and I'm seeing you like seeing outside the box, not just being a real estate agent, but being an entrepreneur. You know, I'm seeing how you're thinking and how you're like trying things and trying to even, I know you're like trying to convince your parents to see things in a different ways, and it's not always easy, but you're still doing it, and you're finding ways to just go around it and get back to it and see like, you know, now I want to invest, now I want to go elsewhere, this is where I want to take my business, I still want to do it, but this I'm just seeing much bigger than what it was at the beginning.
Yeah. No, listen, it's a process.
Yeah.
I remember hearing it, right? Like it's not necessarily like a race, but it's just that you're trying to get from point A to point B. And usually point A doesn't always start where point A is. You might be like at point -Z. And then you got to build yourself to get to point A and then say, all right, cool. Now I can move forward on my journey to get from point A to point B.
But you know, actually you have the vision. I think like now over the last 5 years I've known you, I think you have like a clearer vision. It's a bigger vision, but it's also clearer, you know?
I agree.
And that was part of your growth. And that's good. And sometimes it's not obvious. Like sometimes it's not, you don't have a clear vision. I didn't have a clear vision for a while. You know, like especially after my kids were gone, it's like, now what? Like, what the hell do I do?
Yeah, no, it happens, right? And Honestly, not to bring it back up, but the
Mhm.
pandemic was that. The pandemic shook everybody up. And it's just that at that point, a lot of us focused in on what we truly wanted, and
Yeah.
some of us didn't even know which direction to go. You
Right.
know what I mean? And through that, it was just like it was an experience in itself. And it's true. You just having a bigger vision overall, no matter what you're going through, regardless, is going to keep you moving forward, right? Because you could focus on the problems. And if you focus on the problems, naturally, we're going to recreate more of them. So
Right.
don't focus on the problems, focus on the bigger vision, understand that that's going to be your why, and it's going to get you through whatever it is you're going through.
Once you know your why, that's the whole thing, and keep on
Yeah.
working at it, because I know it's not always clear. It was not always clear with me. When you have your why, and then your why is all grown up and everybody's married and they don't need you, you're like, what's going on here? Why do I do what I do?
It's a purpose. You're trying to I think we go through that periodically in our lives, right? Like I
Hmm.
was telling you the other day when we were having a conversation, it's like the things you think about, right? The things you might think about are different than what I think about at times. But there's moments where, and Priscilla makes fun of me, but she's like, I feel like you're in an old soul because of the things that you say things. And I'm just like, it's just the way I think about things is different than what I used to think when I was in my early 20s, when I was
Yeah.
in my late teens. It's just a completely different outlook.
Yeah.
And it's just life changes. I feel like we're constantly looking for a purpose through
Yeah.
life. And when we
Eh,
find the purpose, we excel in it. But then the minute we feel like we don't have purpose anymore, we're kind of lost in space.
yeah. And then for me, it's a matter of I don't want to say I'm like at that age, but like you're reaching 60 soon. It's a couple of years away. Come on, let's be real, right? And a lot of the people that you knew are no longer with us. They passed, they moved on, they passed on, they died, they just whatever happened. Or some of them get sick and stuff like that. So there is this whole mind shift. It's like, okay, it's no joke, man. Like you can't right now. I feel like I don't have time to read. There is no room for error.
Yeah,
That's how I feel.
it's true. It happens that way.
Yeah.
But
So it's kind of, yeah, it's
and
kind of
it's funny
weird, but
because
it is what it is.
yeah, and I remember reading it, and we don't have to spend too much time on this, but I remember reading it where whatever the man's or woman's mind can believe, it will achieve it, right? So
Yeah.
whatever you can conceive as a thought, as long as you believe in that thought, you can achieve whatever that thought is. It's going to take time, it's going to take work, it's going to be, nitty gritty, it's going to be crazy, but at the end of the day, you have to go through these obstacles, because how can you truly enjoy the fruits of your labor if you don't go through the labor?
Yeah.
Like you'd have to go through that. You'd have to feel that, so that when you do get the accomplishment, you get that feeling inside like, wow, like I can't believe everything I've gone through to get to this point, you know?
Oh, you're right. You're right. I don't even know if we have any comments from anyone. Anybody is awake or anybody's feeling like me, like crap.
It's Friday. People probably just got back from Vegas.
Everybody got back from Vegas, they're like tired. Yo, like, oh my, I don't know if you've seen my social media. I think they were like 13, 15,000 people.
God damn.
We had the arena at MGM. It was like packed. It was insane. It's good. It's good.
That's
It's really
awesome.
good. And I do, oh, my table, I have a desk that goes up and down. Look at that. I'm going up, I'm going down. Very technologically inclined. I
I
got
have
an
a
upgrade on the desk. It
I
goes
have
up
a
and
ch- I have a chair that does that.
but the desk goes up and down. This is kind of cool. Anyway, guys,
Now I gotta lift my chair.
it's
Oh,
like
man.
it's an upgrade. It's
It's
great.
stuck.
All right. What is it?
My chair is stuck. I lowered it. Now it doesn't want to come back up.
It doesn't matter. All right. Be an expert Let me go back to, I guess, let me go back to the article we had, that inspiration, or more than that, actually guidance. You remember the premises on this article they went to the Realtor convention,
Yeah, and they
and
had
one of the
Martha Stewart
speaker,
there.
Martha Stewart. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So what
um,
they said was this, and I'll read it for you, Jesus. One thing that
yeah,
I
yeah,
found
go ahead.
interesting about Martha Stewart was her appetite for learning, right? How many of us have the appetite for learning? And as a realtor, we have to engulf ourselves with what? With properties that hit the market. We have to be knowledgeable. We have to attend open houses so that we can see where the market is going, get a feel for it. That's the only way we're going to become experts in the industry, right? And they mentioned how she just had this appetite for learning, and she dives into a new topic that's unfamiliar with and learns as much as she can, right? How many of us are actually doing that? How many of us are taking a deep dive to learn more about the market, what's
And
going
how
on?
many of us don't stop learning?
Yeah.
It's like, again, encountering, like, with a different franchise, different brokerage, different model, different structures, agents that have been there for a while. I'm seeing, like, I'm seeing a tendency that some people feel like this is it, like they know everything, they learn everything, they know the market. They don't have to go on preview. They don't have to check their MLS for new stuff. They don't have to. I know stats can be boring. Like, okay, that's for the average person to know stats, but it's still like a good thing to know. Like, you want to know, like, what's your average days on the market. You want to know what your absorption rate is. Like right now in our area, like, things don't move. They start moving a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. February was like, okay, it's moving again, slowly, but it's moving again. So that's pretty good. So you need to know a little bit. You need to see. Take a look at the properties that come on the market, like the good ones, the bad one. Save some, see what's up with them. Take a look, see if your competitor is gonna reduce the price. For, what are they doing? How long is staying on the market? Go on other people's open houses. Go see what's up.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's true. And I think that's actually one of the biggest challenge of becoming a real estate expert in our community, if you think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes time to go out there and explore. But imagine, like, think about it. This isn't a typical job, right? Like, it's not a job. We're not expected to be in the office from 9 to 5. No, it's
No,
all
no.
around, right? You can build your schedule. You can build
Yeah.
your schedule to try to make it, what you want it to be. And you can try to use that as what I would say guidance in your day to day. Because, like I said before, we could lose ourselves in activities and believe that we're doing the best thing possible. But if you sit down and break down your day to day and try to analyze what activities are income driven activities that you're doing, like, you'll start to find out that maybe there's minimal in activity that you're actually putting behind that.
Yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
know who I always admired in and I'm gonna name, but Linda Tran. Linda Tran had a mind where, like, damn, she knew every single building. She was on top of who was managing what. She was on top of anything that had to do with community announcements and anything with the neighborhood. She is an expert, and it's like somebody, she's been in the business, but she always stayed on top of the business, of her business, of what's going on in the neighborhood, of what it might affect our clients, our
Yeah.
consumer, you know?
I had a pleasure of doing a deal with her in a building that she was very familiar with. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, the board managers and the board members highly preferred and recommended her to anyone who was
Yeah.
looking to purchase in their building. And it's funny because I remember going back and forth with her, and she was on top of her game. She
Yeah.
submitted an
Yeah.
offer. She's like, you're not like, she kind of made me feel some type of way. I respected her, but she was like, this is the offer. We're not going past this. This is going to be the highest sold apartment in the building. Like, this is going to be the offer. They're not going to go past this number. And I'm like, damn, like, she is really going in.
But you know what? she commanded a lot of respect. You gotta give it to her.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, now she slowed down a lot in her business. She's older, but to me, she's always gonna resonate like somebody that was like a staple in the real estate market in our neighborhood, and somebody who's really made an impact on, even reflecting. It's like she every single street, every single house, like she would know the house, she would know what trees in front, she would know if the owners had made an itch. I was like, damn, this is unbelievable. But she was the expert, and that is inspiration to me, you know.
No, it is, and like
So
I said,
let's strive to be Linda Tran, the queen. I'm still gonna hail the
be like
queen.
Linda.
I can't hate, man. Hail the queen, hail the queen. So the next one was be consistent, right? You want to read?
Yeah, no, listen. So it kind of speaks on, and we all know, we hear it all the time, right? Be consistent,
Yeah.
be consistent. But one of the biggest challenge practically everyone confronts is inconsistency.
But you know what? Real estate agents are going to do business, I would say, from maybe starting end of January to end of October,
Yeah.
mid-November. And if you're Jewish, end of August. Because you have all those freaking holidays. So you get like, and it's like so seasonal. And I feel like if we just pushed a little bit more and be more consistent and have like a plan, like a little agenda, and say, here, I'm going to, despite all the holidays and stuff like that, I'm still going to allocate time for my business, so you don't have gaps and holes into your business.
No, it's true.
And even if you're going to take a vacation, like plan it and plan your comeback, and prepare your exit, like make sure everything is in order. I know it might sound weird, but the older I get, I guess the more I'm doing it. Like if I'm going to take like 1 week away, I want to make sure everything is taken care of before I go. Everybody knows I'm not going to be as available, and if they want to reach me, I make sure they know how I want to be communicated with. Like right now, if I'm going to be in Vegas, there is this 3-hour time difference. It's going to be challenging for me to pick up the phone. Please text me, like especially with your running business. So nobody feels like they're missing out. You don't feel like you're missing out. And just be consistent with the way you run your business. And they were talking, procrastination. This one is a good one.
Which
one? A major reason for procrastination and lack of motivation is vagueness, confusion, and fuzzy mindedness. Read this one. I can't.
Mindedness.
Yeah.
About what you are trying to do and in what order and for what reason.
Brian Tracy, man. So it's true.
So all I would say is break that quote down and really sit there and think about it, right? And just to kind of put it out there again, the quote was, a major reason for procrastination and lack of motivation is vagueness, confusion, and fuzzy mindedness about what you are trying to do and in what order and for what reason.
Lack of clarity. Yeah, if you don't really know where you're going, what you're about, what you're doing. I guess you're going to try to put it off as much as possible. And that's a natural thing. It's like a defense mechanism for survival.
Yeah.
Like you're going to say, okay, I'm not ready. This is not, I don't have clarity. But I mean, I understand you can't always wait to have full clarity because it comes with the work you're doing.
Yeah.
So like that's for me. So I'm probably I don't want to wait until it's perfect because I know if I wait for that, it's never gonna happen. So I'm gonna jump in. It's gonna suck, that's for sure. I'm gonna really suck at it, but you'll do it, and if you keep on doing it, be consistent with it, you'll be good.
Listen, there was a movie that we actually saw based on a true story. I don't know if you heard of it, but there was a young girl. She was 16 years of age who has been practicing for the majority part of her life on a journey that she was going to go on, right? She was planning on sailing across the entire world or the ocean, and there's a specific path or route that they're supposed to take, and she was going to do it without docking at any location. Okay.
Wow.
That's crazy. Think about it. At 16, what were you doing, right? At 16, I was picking my nose. All right. At
Exactly.
16 years of age, this young lady had the only mindset to go out at sea. And watching that movie was very interesting to me because you see the ups and downs, right? There's a moment where she takes off, the sails go up, everybody's waving goodbye. There was so many people that doubted what she was doing. All right. They had the newscasters that were coming there talking to the parents, wondering if this was the right idea. And her parents, being the parents that they are, were 100% supportive.
Behind her. Yeah.
They didn't, it wasn't that they were supporting and didn't care. They supported her because of her dreams, but they clearly, as parents, had some fear involved, right? So what does that mean? They had blind faith. They had blind faith that it was going to go well. And there were moments throughout this movie where this young lady is, the wind is blowing through her sails, right? Think about it like in our careers. Wind is blowing through our sails. There's people that are reaching out, buyers, sellers, they're contacting us. We're setting up appointments. We're doing showings. We're getting accepted offers, under contracts, right? Things are moving smoothly. There's moments that she was going, and she was going so fast that the parents were scared because she was connecting with her, I guess her guide or whatnot, the person that was teaching her how to sail. Yeah. And then there was moments that she went through a treacherous storm. She actually went through 7 storms that were calculating probably about 70-foot waves.
Oh,
all right. And she's 16 years old. How many times have we confronted a wave in our career, in our business, to then be like, you know what? F this, I'm done. I don't want to be a realtor anymore. Right? Forget it. She had so many moments that she could have easily said, forget it. I'm not doing it. And guess what? She didn't turn back. Right? Yeah. She went through these moments. There was a moment where the winds were blowing through her sails and she was going super fast. There was a moment where she got to the Indian Sea, and for 7 days straight, there was 0 wind and 0 waves. She was in the same position. If not, like you said before, she started to go backwards. She was digressing, right? And you know what they always say, the victory is always sweet, but right before you get there, what happens? She ends up right before, she's 1,000 miles away from home, and she encounters 3 different storms that happen to collide into each other. Okay. She sailed through the storm, and then to top it off, her boat gets toppled over, goes under about 15 feet of water, and by the grace of God, the boat flips right back over and goes right back up.
I gotta see that. I gotta see that.
Really good movie, man. Really good. And it's based on a true story. And you could look.
What was the title? You remember?
Well, it was around 2009. So from 2009, 2010, she was out in the open sea for 210 days. The crazy part was, in that time frame, she actually had a camera that she was recording and putting out, like almost like Instagram stories, right? Like she was putting out little videos and people were watching. They were tuning in, right? How crazy is that? How crazy is it? Like, imagine. And she wanted to give up when she was in the Dead Sea with no waves, no winds, 7 days out there with the same exact view.
With not even one, no motion, nothing. Middle of the ocean, nothing happens. Wow, amazing.
And even though she had people to speak to on the phone, she was still alone.
Yeah.
Crazy story. But if you haven't seen it, definitely look into it.
Yeah, when you remember, just put in the name of that movie. So I want to see that. That's really
it's on Netflix. I got to figure out what the name of it was.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We can put it in the comments.
I'll actually
the next hack for you guys is that's going to be a little bit of a, not everybody's going to agree with that. Use all the tools available to you. And I've been accused, like, not everybody can adapt like you and be so quick with it and this and that. Um, maybe, but it's like we're in this profession, and nowadays we have like so many technology tools. I'm not saying you have to be an expert at the tools, but use, like, even within our MLS. Forget about the CRMs, all those. We're not going to mention the supercharged CRMs and all that. We could, but even what is within the tools within our MLSs, how many of us are using them? If you think about it, in our MLS, we have free e-signature, right? We have free transaction transaction software through this Authentic Sign and whatever it is, like all that. Like you could still put your transactions together without you having a CRM. You can check public records, correct? For free. Different sources. You have different avenues to do a nice listing presentation. RPR, Remind. You can do also the CMA tool on MLS. There are so many different tools you can use. So again, that goes back to be curious, like have this thirst for learning and use those tools. You don't have to be a nerd, a tech expert, but actually use that, In the article, they're talking about using CRMs. That's fantastic. Yes, that's great. That would be probably the best, because I've seen people that don't have CRMs. They don't even have a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
No,
it's true. I would just add to that, like, use your Google Calendar, and another thing is use time management. Block out your calendar. If we set up an alarm clock to wake us up, and we're accustomed to it, then why can't we set up an alarm clock to notify us when it's time to work on the next task? Think about that, right?
No, you're right.
Like we've always talked about it. Set up time for prospecting, right? Set up an hour, 2 hours, time block that. You're going to start to realize as you're going through your calls, crazy as this might sound, it's still not enough time. You feel like you still didn't have enough time to prospect when you're doing it. That's how crazy it is. You know what I mean? If you
I know some agents who also. Do you schedule your lunch?
I do.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm the type that what I like. And we started doing this. Actually, we started working more on it this week since we got back from Florida. And on Sunday, what we do, and it's funny, I'll take you through it. Sunday, we get together. We Priscilla and I sit down. We review what happened the week before.
That's all right.
Cool. From that, we start to figure out, okay, what are we going to focus on, right? So my schedule breaks down is clearly we got to go to the gym first thing in the morning, which is why we go so early. The idea is to come back home and to work, and I set my schedule for 10 o'clock. Everybody's different.
Right?
10 o'clock, 10 to 12, prospecting calls. We're on the phone, 10 to 12. Okay. From 12 to 1:30, I believe, okay, we actually sit down and start to work on our CRMs, right? Because KV Core, for example, has automated messages, emails that they send out depending on what campaign you put them in. Okay. Yeah. So what are we doing? If KV Core is automatically set up to hit these potential prospects up for you, great. But review the campaign, because some of the stuff may or may not.
And you gotta follow up. Like we're gonna, we know that follow up is not 1, 2, 3 touches and stuff like that. It's a lot more,
Constant.
And it's not always. And the phone call is not like, oh, what's up? I'm following up. You're ready to go out and buy. No, sometimes it's like you gotta give some value to the customer and stuff like that. So
one other thing that I learned in that, and yes, 100%, G, you got to present value, because if not, they'll hang up on you. But outside of that,
you got to prep that. You got to know what you game plan. You got to know what you're going to be doing.
100%.
Right?
And one thing that we learned in the Ninja Selling book was, and you guys have mentioned it too, we've heard in the past, use the Ford process, right? when you reach out to these individuals, you're not just calling to say, hey, are you interested in buying this house yet? No, like you want to get an idea of who your buyer or seller is.
That's
Prospect them,
exactly that.
have that conversation, ask them about their family, ask them about their relationship, ask them about their occupation, ask them these questions as you go through the call. That's going to
Yeah.
be your ammunition, right? They may be ready to buy right now, they may be ready to buy a year from now, but
Yeah.
if they're going to take longer to buy, that gives us the ability to spend more time and build that relationship and rapport, because
Yeah.
they might be buying a year from now, but
And
they might
sometimes
need
you don't even make the move because if they don't trust you, if they don't feel
yeah,
you have this connection where they can, like, you can ride with them, they're not gonna budge.
it's
You
true.
gotta guide them through. You gotta be there. Like, let's go. Let's navigate together.
Everybody wants
That's
somebody to
how.
work with.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do things alone. And granted, think about it, right? And I had this conversation with the buyer over the weekend. It's they're hopping to open houses and seeing what they like, but they're really not having that conversation with somebody, right? We're not just salespeople. We're
Exactly.
trying to be advisors. We're trying to be real estate advisors to then advise these clients on the proper outcome of what they're trying to do, right?
Right.
Because again, what if they don't qualify for the property? What if they don't have enough down payment? What if
Mm-hmm.
that's not the area? What if they got kids? Like, this is everything that you have to have in a conversation so that you understand your client. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But we're kind of spinning off of the tools, but these are some tools you would
So
want
I
to
know
learn.
I'm glad, but I'm glad. I mean, I know you've been going through ninja selling for a few weeks now, like 3 weeks or so, right?
Yeah.
So that's good, and you apply. I mean, it's good. Like, you found like a book that talks to you. So that's good. I'm always saying, like, find your guru, find your coach, like find something. Like, it's don't try to reinvent the wheel. That's one of the hacks. Like, people have been putting out all those material. Like, find someone that speaks to you and run with it. And I'm seeing you doing it because, like you read that book, you go through the method and say, that's good, that works for me, let's go with it. And you're not going to change anything, right? You're not going to try to change anything. Apparently the method is proven, so let's go for it. Go for it.
Let's
Find
go.
your guru. Next. Oh boy. Yeah. Be authentic. Let me go back to that article here. Yeah, and again, I don't want to offend anyone, but in this age of social media filters, in this age of how should we put it, Ed? In this age of unrealistic expectations that you know, look at me, no filter. Look at this, like no filter.
Yeah.
No, it's true. Like, we live in these filtered visions of the world, like every day. Like,
Like
we
a
bombard.
superficial. Is that
Huh?
the right word? Superficial?
Extreme. Not even superficial. It's not even superficial. It's fake. It does not exist. There is a veil put on. A filter is a veil that you put over something to blur, to hide.
Didn't
So
think of it.
it's sort of a lie. So be authentic. Like, for me, I believe, like, my flaws are my strength. It's okay to be vulnerable,
Mm.
and it's okay to own who you are, and it's okay to recognize, like, you, like, be authentic. Like, even when you're working with clients, I had a lot of success with people in some instances where I didn't have all the answers. But again, let's go back to helping it. But, like, don't, like, be yourself. Like, don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't try to be someone else.
Yeah. Be comfortable in your
I
own
don't.
skin.
I don't want to be Ryan Serrant. I don't want to be Josh Altman. They do their thing. There's their own thing. I'm not. I don't. This is not me. I'm not. I'm not that. I don't want to be Kim Kardashian. I don't. Never gonna happen. ever. But you know what I'm saying? Be authentic,
Yeah.
honest, personable. Again, you know, it's through your, not even your flaws, it's your vulnerable. I can't speak English. This is too early.
Vulnerability.
Yes, that makes you actually lovable, you know?
Yeah.
Like where people see, like people don't want to see past through you. They want to see they want to see you for who you are in your heart, you know? So don't try to have this persona that is all made up and stuff, because you're going to sound fake anyway.
Yeah. At some
You know, you're
point,
going
the
to,
truth comes out,
yeah,
you know.
definitely.
But I mean, look, in my opinion, being authentic is a lot easier than putting up this superficial view of you. You know what I mean? Because then you gotta keep up with that, and it's kind of hard doing that after some time. You know what I mean? So it's definitely something that you should just look to yourself, look deep down inside. Don't tell yourself you hate the way you sound. Somebody else might love the way you sound, right? Put it out there. Put yourself out there. Everyone is looking for that genuine individual to look at, to see, right? It's a lot more relatable when someone can see you going through your struggles than someone who is clearly like day one, right? Like how achievable was this goal if you went into a convention and you spoke to somebody and they said, "Hey, yeah, I got my license, and by month 3, I already had 30 contracts." that
Yeah.
would that would freak people out. Like, what? Like, yo, that's crazy. But now if you sit there and speak to somebody that genuinely tells you, "Hey, look, my first year was a struggle, right? I didn't do this. The second year I did that, and then this changed, and then this became." So what does that put behind it? All right, cool. Yeah, you know what? I can relate to the individuals that has taken them a little bit longer to get to where they wanted to be.
Yeah. And it also brings to me here, I'm not going to name names, but we had a speaker at that convention. And a lot of the agents I was speaking to, whether it was from my group and from other groups and overseas, that person came across as very arrogant. So in addition to being authentic, be humble, man. Be humble. You know, there is an agent in my office in Jackson Heights that, looking at him, is so unassuming, he's so humble, and he just got an award for, and he's even like, it's crazy. He was even saying he had not that much of a great year, but the guy pulled he pulled over $750,000 in close commission for himself. And it's like, you're hearing him and you so unassuming. And this guy is in the trenches every day. He's in the street for at least an hour and a half every morning, rain or shine, 5 days a week. He speaks to the neighbors. He speaks to the consumers. Is there, is in the neighborhood, is going to distribute a flyer, an invitation for open house himself, making that kind of money. Humble, authentic, and humble.
Yeah,
And I admire those traits, man. Really,
yeah,
really.
no, and that actually, geez, that kind of goes into the next slide. If I
Yeah,
have
let
it
me just
correct.
put it up. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that was the next slide.
No, I was thinking of something else, but
What? Okay, so we have one more, I think, after that.
yeah. So we kind of touched on this, not to spend too much time on it, but take advantage. We can't express it enough. We can't stress it enough that you have to be good at time management. Create your schedule. Be your own boss. Stay on top of that schedule. Okay.
Prioritize.
100%.
Too. Yeah,
And
yeah. We keep on. I don't want to pound this, but it's like, number one, if you want to also have this great impression on your consumer, because your consumer, let's face it, it's your buyers, your sellers. But guess what? I think I would also put in my consumer bag the other agents I work with, because they could be great source of referrals, they could be allies, they could be future partners. You understand? So those are consumers as well. So, like, if you're gonna, like, be an exceptional time manager, but be prompt. Don't show up late. Don't, like consistently, don't be the one that's always 25, 30 minutes late for no reason. Like don't tarnish your reputation on stupid stuff like that. Like you want to keep those relationships like tight, right?
Correct.
Like work on that. I'm seeing so many agents that are never ever on time, and this irks me so much. And it's like if you just tweaked one little thing, and that should bring you over the top as being like a top-notch agent. Instead, you just look like a slacker. And that's the general opinion. And you don't want people to have that opinion of you.
No,
right?
I'll even tell you a funny story. First of all, if you know Forest Hills and you know that traffic is through the roof, and you know that between the hours of 2 and 4 p.m. or even 5, 6, forget it. Just after 2 p.m., it gets crazy, right? And this was something that happened to me. I actually was making my way from our office in Forest Hills to a listing that was on the other side of Queens Boulevard in Forest Hills. And it took me nearly, like 20 minutes to get there. I got there late and I met with the buyer. The buyer already looked at the place, came outside, and she was waiting for me to get there. And she literally told me, she was like, you know what? Like, I don't like dealing or working with people that show up late. I could have sat there and said, look, I'm sorry. I understand. You know what? The traffic, you got to understand that there's traffic, and then this happened and that happened. But I've always felt that if I do that, I'm not trying to justify the fact that I was late. So therefore, there's no justification. The only words that came out of my mouth after that was very simple. All I said to her is, please, I do apologize for my tardiness. I'll make sure to not let that happen again. My apologies. That's all I could say at that point.
Exactly. Right? I want to shout out a viewer. I don't know who that is. It's called 100. He, or I don't know who that is. I have to dig more. 100% true. And then they're watching from YouTube, man. Isn't that cool?
What are your pronouns? 100% true.
I know. That's so cool. I just want to give you a shout out.
I feel like we saw 100% true in some of our videos that have come up in the past.
I know. I just need to figure out who it is, but that's kind of cool. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. What's next?
And then
I think this is it.
Oh, so yes, that's what you wanted to discuss. Go for it, man. Go for it.
Oh no, once again, I thought this was another slide, but I see what's happening here. Do we have more slides after this? I feel like we created slides and then
No. Be an early adopter. So, all right.
Quick, let's not even spend too much time there, because at the end of the day, early adapter is like, for example, the article was talking about how Martha Stewart was on TikTok when it was first coming out. And because of that, that allowed her to propel her viewers, followership, and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, right, you want to adapt from the beginning to something. And it's funny because right before the pandemic, like, for example, it gets to refer to us often, like my generation, people that kind of started with the computers and all that stuff. Like the minute we went into the pandemic and we were all like, nothing face to face, everything has to happen online or without you being there. That was something difficult for a lot of the other generations to do, because everything was done face to face. Like, what do you mean I can't see this person face to face? Now I got to jump on this computer and I got to figure out how to use Zoom and try to get on a meeting. You know what I mean? Like, this is the things we have to look at. And if we spend a lot of time in the field, in the industry, and we're paying attention, we got our feelers out and we're paying attention to the market, we could potentially take advantage of whenever there's a shift. And that's what we always try to talk to you folks about is you got to be out there. You got to be active. The only way you're going to know where these shifts are going or when they're coming is if you're out there. If you're not out there, you're going to get caught by surprise and it's going to affect your business. And the next response is going to be like, oh, I didn't know. And this is too hard. And I can't be an agent. And I can't do this.
I'm gonna give you some aha moment for me. Like, I'm not, everybody knows, like, I haven't jumped on TikTok, I have my account and all that. I haven't done anything. And I haven't done anything because I just realized this week, like looking at younger agents and doing their stuff and putting the TikTok things, I'm like, that TikTok audience is our future business,
Yeah.
right? So just like Martha Stewart, she's long time in the public eye. She's been doing that forever, but she doesn't want to lose a chunk of audience. She still wants to be relevant to the newer audience. So she needs to be moving with the time. And I'm realizing it's like crap. Absolutely right. So now the biggest chunk of buyers and sellers are millennials. And guess what comes right after? The Gen X. The Gen Xers are on TikTok all day long.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I haven't even approached that slice of consumers, that slice of clients. And it's a mistake. And I'm like, okay, I'm not like into the TikTok thing, but I could do things my way and still have an audience and still bring value. I don't have to be dancing, right?
Listen, you could be dancing, talking, cooking, showing something, giving your opinion on something. It's just what I look at is it's a platform for us to get whatever we feel out into the world, right? The problem with that is it could be good or it could be bad, right? So you got to always do it with I believe with a good heart in mind. But real quick, 100% true. I'm telling you, this person has great questions. I feel like we've seen them before, but their question was, what do you know about? What do you know about to adapt to? I guess they're saying, what do you want to like? How do you know what to adapt to? There's so many things coming out. Where should we start? Great question, right?
I think you should start. I mean, like for me, like it took like I'm not saying I'm gonna be a superstar on TikTok, but you want to go where, I mean, we're in this real estate business, so yeah, I do want to go where my clients, my consumers are, and for me, now that I'm managing again, I also have to attract agents. So do I want to just go after top producers that are super jaded, that are old, that's going to be very, very hard to change? Or do I want to go and attract agents that are already in the business, starting out and have this great potential, that are doing some deals where you could attract them and you could help them triple their business, with the amount of coaching and my past knowledge and stuff like that, and their idea on social media and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Like, try to find an avenue of where is your audience, where they at. You want to be where they at. And I haven't even started with TikTok, but I'm seeing it's like, damn, this is where they are. And guess what? In 5 years, a lot of them will be ready to buy. And they could also be a great source of referrals for their parents and stuff like that. So start someplace, or just dabble into a few things and see what works and what doesn't.
I mean, that question could be, I guess, all around if you think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's real estate, whether it's whatever your careers are. And I guess if we read those questions backwards, right? So there's so many things coming out. Where should we start? You got to figure that part out, right? I don't know what career you're in. I don't know what opportunity you're chasing, but at the end of the day, you got to make up a decision first. Make up your mind on what it is you're trying to do, right? And where do you start? I've always felt that you clearly have to educate yourself. You clearly have to learn about whatever it is you're trying to career chase, whatever it is you're trying to go for. Oh,
so this is what this viewer is saying to us, 100% true. I'm not hurt. I'm not hurt at all. I'm not hurt that I didn't jump on. It's not too late to jump on TikTok. I can jump on TikTok right now. And I'm not hurt. I just came to a realization that, okay, this generation of TikTok, when it came, last year and all that, I'm looking at it and to me, it's like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, this doesn't even interest me. And yeah. And then the more you realize, it's like, 25, 26 years old. Eventually, because just like we thought that generation, your generation, Ed, of millennials, would stay in their parents' basement all their life, they're not. They're actually buying. They actually have more inspiration than the previous generations to be homeowners.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't hurt. I just realizing that this is the next wave of consumers. They're going to be ready to buy very, very, very soon. Why don't you want? And same thing with agents. Don't want. Why don't you want to be there when they're ready to make the move? That's it. Not hurting at all. Let's move on to the next slide. I'm not. It's just like wow.
No, it's listen. I don't think it was anything as far as pain is concerned. I think it was just it happens to every single one of us, and I'm sure it happens to 100% true as well. And all it is that we come across something we don't know about.
And you don't have to understand it right away.
We could sit there and give our opinions as to like, oh, why this isn't this and this isn't that. But at the end of the day, it's really overcoming ourselves at that point. It's making the leap. Number one is the hardest thing you can ever do. And this is statistics out there, right? The number one thing people are scared of the most is public speaking. The second thing people are scared of is death. So they're more afraid of giving the eulogy at a funeral than being the one in the coffin. That's the crazy part, right?
Yeah, but guys, I also talking about being authentic. I'm pouring my soul out. I'm being vulnerable to all of you guys because I feel it's important sometimes to say here I was not ready. Because if you don't see it, why would I want to lie to myself and say, okay, I'm going to force myself to go on TikTok and do some stuff that I don't feel, I don't get. Nah, you have to see it, you have to want it.
Yeah,
you know.
And the only way to look at it at that point.
What?
It's the only way that I would see that anyone can look at it, whether you're young or old, is at the end of the day, it's a platform for us to basically voice out our thoughts.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You can use it for good or you can use it for evil, like I said before. As a real estate agent, you're right, Gigi. Maybe these individuals aren't ready to buy right this instant, but it's going to pique their curiosity. And right now, what are everybody? Honestly, in my opinion, everybody's learning from TikTok and Instagram and Facebook right now, any social media platforms, because if information comes out, you have health nutritionist people that are out there giving their opinions on what you should or shouldn't be eating. You have people that are teaching you on what exercises to do to focus on specific groups or muscles in your body. Like there's so much. There's mortgage lenders that are talking about the interest rates. There's realtors that are promoting the areas that they work in. Like there's so much information out there. We're in the information day and age, the age of Aquarius. Okay, information is flying. So why not put ourselves in that position? Forget what we sound like. Forget how we feel we hear ourselves.
Yeah.
Forget about the way you feel about how you look. Understand everyone is going to have an opinion. All right. Don't let it take up space in your mind if it's negative. People are going to say what they want to say, but there's also going to be people out there that are going to connect to what you're saying. So some are going to like you, some are going to hate you. It really doesn't matter. The more you stand up, the higher you get, the more the crowd will throw tomatoes at you. So it's all good. It doesn't matter because it means that you're doing something different. So that's the way you got to look at it.
I don't, unfortunately, I'm going to have to answer 100% truth comments offline because that might be a much longer, conversation.
100% truth got some questions, yo. I want to know who this person is.
But we're running out of time, so I really want to. Ed, you and I will get back to 100% true, and we can discuss that. Thank you so much for your feedback.
It's almost like another topic.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, 100% true. We need to meet you. How about that? We need to get an understanding of who you are.
Exactly.
Because you got some good questions, and I like it. I like the fact that you're tuning in. And as a matter of fact, I think we're finishing up here, right, Gigi?
Yeah, we have that and the next slide. So Work with those who are where you want to be. So Martha Stewart said when during her speech at that convention, she made a point of surrounding herself with people who knew about the things she wanted to learn more about. So it's the same thing about her curiosity and her voracity for new learnings. All right. She recommends working with people who are already there. And you remember the conversation ahead. I don't want to hurt you, but you keep on saying like, sometimes the group of friends or people you're around are not where you want to be at. Like you feel you're already past that stage. So like sometimes it's like I feel and I've felt that I've outgrown some circle, and it was time to just like move on to different things where like I could learn something from someone. I could aspire to something with another acquaintances instead of having my buddies and we're doing all this, we're doing the same thing and nothing has evolved. And same thing, you don't evolve, you dissolve. So there you go. Right?
No, it's true.
If you truly want to excel and reach your goal, you can't get there without a map. So in this article, they're really also saying like hire a coach if you have to, or find someone like a mentor who can show you the path to success. Coaching actually is the best investment you can ever make. I've been in coaching, it helps, it does help. The best investment, unless you find the right coach for you, it's always like a little bit of sorting through. But finding a mentor, finding someone that can guide you. If you're in real estate, could be like if you get one of those brokers or managers that are there to really take you to where you want to be at. Like they don't have to have all the knowledge, but they could be there as guidance or be the source of the source. Find the other sources that can help you get where you want to be at.
I agree. And 100% true. Came in with this, which he clearly this person wants to text you, so you're gonna have to put your contact information in the box. But I like what 100% true here said, and it's work with those who are where you want to be. And it's funny because I remember hearing this quote as well, and it actually goes with work with those, or find the people who are where you want to be. Find out what they did to get there, then you do what they've done, and one day you'll have what they have.
100% true. You can text me. I'm gonna put my phone number anyway. It's out there. It's all over the internet. But I'm gonna put it in the comments right there, and you can reach out to me. Let's talk. All right. And let's go with the last slide. Oh. Actually, that's like
we had extra slides put in there.
No, this is it. That's the last slide. There was nothing. It's just those
the last two slides that I was like, oh yeah, on to the next one, or I know what this is gonna lead to. Like that wasn't the slides that came up, but they just finished coming up, so that's why I'm laughing.
Okay.
But yeah, to finish it off, man, always have a sense of humor.
Hey, you know what? For some reason, it's gonna sound stupid, but I chose this photo as number one. That photo reminds me of Mr. Ed, your Ed. I know it is so corny.
This is the first time I see Mr. Ed in color. Let's talk about that.
I'll own my corniness, okay? Yes, and have a sound sense of humor. Don't take yourself too seriously. And it's not, I guess like chill. Like take a chill pill, okay?
Don't be too hard on yourself, all right?
We have one life. Come on. Let's just have a little bit of fun while we're living it, right?
We as best as we can, and even though being in real estate has its ups and downs, almost like life has its cycles, all right? You can't always just be frustrated and mad. Things are gonna happen. The only thing you can do is brush your shoulders off and then continue tomorrow. Leave everything in the past.
Take that stick off your butt.
Yeah, get off the stick. All right, sit in a comfortable chair and just take a deep breath, man.
When
Everything's
you're up
gonna
and
be
down, you're up and down desk, up, down, up, down.
I had a hard time bringing my chair back up, but I'm gonna leave it up. We ain't going down. We staying up.
Thank you so much. Let me see. 100%. Oh, Ed is smooth. Yes, he is. Actually, you know what? I'll text us. I'd love to even talk to you. Have a conference call with you guys, with you 100%, with Ed, and let's talk. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, everybody. And obviously, the MVP of the day
has to be
100%
MVP.
true.
100%. 100% true is our MVP, most valuable post in today's episode. So 100% true. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your eyes, your ears, and your comments.
Israel, we missed you today. Until next week, guys. Thank you so much.
Peace out, everybody. And don't forget to tune into your open houses this weekend. If you see a sign, stop right on in. Check it out. If it's me, let's have a talk. If it's not, buy the place. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, back to the grown folk music, and we're just going to fade out.
It's time to fade out?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a fade out. All right. Bye, guys.
Gotta go like this.
Yeah. Ciao.